Hi everyone, I'm Zach Lind. I'm the Chief Information Officer for the Ithaca City School District, and today here with me is Zach Drucker. Zach, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey guys, like Zach said, I'm also Zach Drucker. I work in the IT department here, and a lot of you may have seen me at the high school walking in the hallways, helping out teachers, and so I'm joining today to help you guys as well.
All right, so today we want to spend some time talking about Chromebooks. Specifically, there's been a lot of questions with our sort of virtual learning and how Chromebooks are working, what's going well, what's not going well. Today we're going to talk about perhaps what's not going well. What sort of issues have you been seeing, Zach?
We've been hearing and seeing complaints of some sluggishness on the Chromebooks. Primarily when students are in Google Meet, sometimes they're getting kicked off, sometimes they can't connect. And just in general, sometimes the Chromebooks are a little slow when they're browsing the internet or working on Google Doc, what have you. So
I've been hearing similar things too, and I think those are valid concerns. And let's dive in and talk about it. We're part of Google for Education, and Chromebook is a really light device. It's not designed to do a lot. It has a pretty light processor, but that does mean that it can only do a few things, 1-2 things at a time. In order to do those things, we really have to optimize how it's running and what it's doing. It doesn't have the same processing power of even like a cell phone that you get now, or a lot of the other computers that folks will see. But so they're good, they're cheap devices, but to get them running, there's some steps we have to take. So Zach, could you tell us about perhaps what are some of the first things we should do if we feel like our Chromebook maybe isn't performing how it should be?
Carved out 3 things that we should all really keep in mind and best practices. The first thing is we want to make sure every night when we go to sleep, we want to plug our Chromebooks in so they're charging. That way, the next day, the whole school day, you'll have, when you wake up, a full battery that'll last throughout the day. So that's the very first thing. Make sure you got a full charge. Second thing, we want to make sure that we're rebooting the device, especially if you could do it as soon as you wake up. Again, you unplug it if you need to, if you're not in a position where you can keep the Chromebook charged. Unplug it, reboot the device, and when you reboot, it's basically going to free up a lot of system resources that could have been hogged from your previous session. The Chromebook could have been doing an update overnight that you weren't privy to. Rebooting it is going to make sure that update fully completes and it purges it out of the system so that you have more memory and more CPU processing power to use throughout the day.
Yeah, because we do see sometimes when we have everyone get started in the morning that the Chromebook sort of usage will spike and then it'll level out. And that's a lot of that is updates running, Chromebook sort of calibrating themselves. So you're saying if they sort of turn them on and reboot them before they get started, they should have a cleaner experience?
Absolutely. Everything will run a little smoother. Actually, not a little, a lot. And they'll notice a difference for sure. And it's important, don't just log off, actually perform a full reboot. Yep.
And that's just holding that power button down for a couple seconds, right?
Absolutely. Or you can click the power button and then go to reboot. Either one. But holding the power button down.
Gotcha. For sure. All right. And you said there's a third thing there that could help. What might that be?
That's going to be to keep an eye on the amount of tabs you have open. You want to limit those tabs. You really only want to have tabs open that are pertinent to the class that you're in at that moment. So an example could be something like maybe a tab for Google Classroom, a tab for Google Meet, and maybe a tab for a document that you're working on, maybe collaborating with other students on. But anything more than really that, if you have SoundCloud in the background or a bunch of other videos opened, it's just really going to hog system resources, and you're going to feel it, especially in the Google Meet, because that takes some of the most resources to be able to run efficiently. So to recap, make sure you have a full charge in the morning. Second, reboot first thing in the morning as soon as you unplug it from the charger. And third thing, just limit the amount of tabs that you're using throughout the day.
Thanks so much, Zach. I'm sure we're going to have some more of these conversations, but thank you for your thoughts on this.
Happy to be here. Happy to help.